He's only been in office for a day, but President Trump has already signed close to 50 executive orders at last count. We've been telling you about how these orders impact everything from immigration policy to diversity efforts to government work from home policies.
Trump promised to begin his presidency this way, but it still represents a drastic change from the way things were done in previous administrations. We got Dr. Michael Greenberger here, a political science professor at the University of Denver. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I mean, a lot of people are talking about these executive orders. How would you describe the president's political strategy, seeing what he's done in the last 24 hours?
Well, one aspect of it is flooding the zone, so just an overwhelming number of executive orders. Some of these will get lots of attention, others will get much less attention. A lot of these things have to do with appeasing some very high-level concerns of his most fervent supporters. So changing the names of national parks from McKinley or Denali back to McKinley, trying to change birthright citizenship. These are things that are going to garner a lot of attention, which is one thing President Trump often seeks.
The Gulf of America. I mean, some of these things don't seem real, but they certainly happen. So let's talk about the birthright citizenship, because as we reported already today, there are a couple of lawsuits already challenging this. Do you think those are successful? I mean, it's hard to change the Constitution.
Yeah, I think that these first set of lawsuits are going to be successful in stopping completely changing birthright citizenship. I think that President Trump and sort of the conservative legal movement may have a broader horizon on sort of in the long term re-altering American citizenship standards. But in the short term, I do think that the one lawsuit originating from some private civil liberties organizations and the one that now has 18 states signed onto it are likely to be successful in stopping the most brutal effects of this policy change.
Now, yesterday, Denver's mayor told us that he will not be arrested or go against the law just to oppose President Trump's deportations. What about other cities? What would that look like if you did have a mayor or a governor stand against the deportation policies of Trump?
Yeah, so a lot of this would come down to whether or not sheriff's departments in particular are willing to work with the federal government, President Trump and the executive specifically, to enforce deportations. As far as I've seen, there's not a huge effort to create a new, larger federal bureaucracy. Rather, the Trump administration wants to rely on these local sheriff's organizations. And so a lot of this is going to come down to people's local elected officials and whether or not they're willing to work with the executive government or the federal government against their own local communities.
Very interesting.
I know. We're going to have him on quite a bit.
I know. I feel like we're going to have more questions to Dr. Michael Greenberger. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.